Okay, up next, Bloodstock 2022, we've got Samy from Lost Society. Samy, how you doing?
I'm absolutely fantastic, thank you. It's been a crazy day, been enjoying the heat, and we had an absolutely scorching show today, which was great. We were the second band on the main stage, and honestly, it just blew our minds how great the reception was with the crowd. There were so many people out there, and you know, by the last song, we had everyone dancing with us, so it was a great show.
I saw it, to be honest, I was watching from the crowd, and it was weird, I was watching it going, it's like 12 midday, and it feels like I'm watching the headline set. It was like the set, it was on fire, man.
Honestly, but that's the thing, like, it's not something we're conscious about. It's just like when we get the opportunity to play a show, be it at, 11 o'clock in the morning or 9 o'clock in the evening, if it's for one person or 1,000 people, we're gonna give it our all because it comes so naturally to us. When we get on stage, we get adrenaline and energy from the crowd, and we hope to give it to them too.
Oh, yeah. Well, it totally felt like it was a reciprocal circular thing between crowd and audience. Band and audience today. Killer. So let's look at the guitars then.
Yes, sir.
Let's tell me about this. So this is custom, right?
This is a custom shop guitar, and honestly, this is my favorite guitar, obviously, out of everything I have. That's why I brought it here. Yeah. And it's my trusty ESP E-II Eclipse guitar, which I acquired, I believe, about 3 years ago now. And actually, the interesting thing is that this was a whole different guitar first, but then actually a great friend of mine relic'ed this whole thing. And, I got my trusty EMG H2s on this. I have this mic, this pickup set up on all of my guitars. So we're talking two EMG H2 passive pickups. We have the ALX preamp on it, and we have 18 volts of lightning in here, so we have two 9-volt batteries in here, and that's basically what our sound is right now. And I gotta give a massive shout out to everyone at ESP, everyone at Musamama in Finland who hook us up with these guitars, and obviously Tommy at EMG for hooking me up with all of these.
That's killer. So obviously during the set you were using the EC and the Phoenix as well.
Yes.
That Phoenix looks killer from the audience.
I'm in love with that guitar. It's like, honestly, because I used to be a super strat guy because I worship guitarists like George Lynch and Paul Gilbert, stuff like that. So for me, the super strats is where I started. But I got my first Eclipse guitar, I believe it was in the end of 2018 when we were writing new music, and we were kind of experimenting with drop tunings, different tunings, and I was like, you know what, it's kind of difficult to experiment with a Floyd Rose, so I'll just try an Eclipse because obviously I'm an old rock and roll dude. I was like, I want something this shape. Classic, and I started playing it, and I instantly fell in love with the touch of this because I feel like my picking technique, it's always I have my hand kind of in an angle, and having the strings slightly high, having the strings slightly higher actually benefited my playing so much because having stuff like doing that kind of stuff where then it just works so much better than having it, totally level like the Floyd Rose was. So after that, it was like there was no looking back. I've been using the Eclipses for about 5 years now, and I just recently got the Phoenix, which obviously works perfectly because it has the same tremolo system, and it just looks beautiful. Come on, let's just face it.
Man, from the audience, like, when you jump down from the amps, it did the thing like, wow, that is just like the most rock and roll thing ever. Like stood up there, killer.
Dude, I'm a liability, is what I am.
Well, when you threw the guitar, I did gulp for a second. It's like, has that ever gone wrong?
Yeah, let's not talk about it. It's gone wrong once with an old dear technician of ours, and unfortunately he has a gigantic scar on his face afterwards, so I'm so sorry. I'm still so sorry. But with our new guy, it has not gone wrong yet.
Amazing stuff. Now, what I noticed is very obvious when you're playing is like you've got the poses, you've got the look down, you're doing the full performance, which is killer, but the licks are ready to go at all times, right? So have you got any kind of postures or positions or ways of supporting the guitar so that you fire the licks and they're feeling
Well,
how
honestly,
you want?
I mean, like, the number one go-to thing, which obviously I've had ever since I played the kind of Randy Rhoads-shaped guitars, which is obviously, you have this thing going on, and with a guitar this shaped, you have one leg on the monitor or riser or whatever, and you have this thing going on. This is kind of the easiest thing. It's kind of like cheating because, we have a song called Into Eternity. We have the solo section is with our other guitars. We play in unison, this kind of string skipping lick, and we always have this posture. It's funny because we do it like exactly the same time if you look at it. It goes like this. you have something like that, which, let's face it, I mean, it's possible to do it when you have your strap pretty low, but it's going to be difficult. So, you know, that would be one of the go-to licks or solos where I have to lift it up. But honestly, one thing that I learned from a good friend of mine who produced and co-wrote the new record also is that, because, you know, I had my strap fairly high back in the early days, until I was like, you know what? It looks fucking cooler to put it down.
Totally.
So I did, and actually one of the things that I noticed is that it's actually easier when you have it lower than, like, it's obviously, if you have it super high, that's the best, that's the easiest. But when you have it too low, it's perfect, because if you have it in that middle spot, that's where you're gonna have trouble. But when you have your hand basically like this, I mean, what could be easier than that? And then obviously, you know, I'm gonna stand up for this, but you know, when you have your guitar like this and you need to get up here, then you're gonna get into, you know, these knee bending things, which is then you know, you can look at your Eddie Van Halen's and your Alex's and stuff like that, and you'll see what it's all about. It's like, it's not only about the style, it's actually about helping yourself get to those places.
Because that's the thing, isn't it? I think a lot of young players, they see the postures and the rock and roll bit, and they try it, and there's like the guitar's moving all over the place, like the little things you learn along the way, right?
Exactly.
Like, why is he doing that? Why has he got his foot on that monitor? Okay, I see.
Now I get it.
Yeah, sure. Excellent. So, obviously, like I said, your playing was on fire today.
Thank you so much.
What kind of things do you do to warm up, just so that when you're out there, you're ready to go?
Oh my God, everyone's gonna hate me for this, but I do not warm up. And you know, I mean, playing a festival like this where it's literally about 35 degrees, it helps. It definitely helps. But you know, we played a lot of cold shows back home in Finland. We've done some in North America towards the end of the year. In those situations when your hands are like, oh my God, I'm not sure if this is gonna happen, you know, I have my basic things that I do as not as warm-up techniques, but usually it's just to practice, which is it's like the most standard, just basic chromatic stuff, which is just that thing, which I've been doing for about 16 years now, and that's basically, you know, me doing that for 6 years, 6 hours a day. I'm not even kidding. That's what kind of built my whole basis of what I'm doing right now, and that always works as a great warm-up. Then, you know, you have your stuff where you can take a riff, like obviously like Master of Puppets, something like that, where I'm drop tuned now, so it's not going to sound correct, but I mean, you know, you do that slowly and you build it up. You can just take something like that, and you know, at some point you're gonna get warmed up.
It's gonna get the blood flowing, right?
Exactly, but I can tell you the number one thing that will get you warmed up, if nothing else does, is when you hear the fucking crowd go wild when your intro's playing. At that point you're like, you know what, I don't have any, there's no room for error. You just have to fucking be good.
Bring it. I mean, it's similar. Like, I remember Nuno Betancourt saying that he deliberately doesn't warm up because, you know, he gets excited when he picks up a guitar and he wants to have that moment with the audience.
That's the thing. No, that's the thing, and because, you know, I'm one of those guys, like when I was 7 years old, when I got into Iron Maiden, that's how I got into the whole, basically, music scene and the metal scene, and watching, you know, the Rock in Rios and the Live After Death, it's like, that's what I want to do, and I still have that, like, childish smile, you know, when our guitar tech gives me the guitar, I'm like, holy shit, I'm actually gonna get to do this in front of people. So it honestly is a lot of that with me also.
So, beyond the guitars, what other kind of things are in the rig today?
Actually, I'm a very simplistic person when it comes to everything behind the guitars, because I've been running a Kemper for the last, I believe, 5 or 6 years. We have one profile that me and our other guitarist use, or he has his own one, I have my own one. I have a rhythm tone, I have an add-on of a delay if I need it. I have a lead tone, which is a replica of the rhythm tone, just a bit more gain, a bit more volume, and delay and reverb. Then I have a bunch of different sounds that I kind of use for if I'm doing a crowd speech or something like that. There's some infinity reverb, stuff like that. But honestly, that's basically it. I have my expression pedal, which has my wah ready, and I mean, that's what it's all about for me. It's like I haven't got into the whole super technical side of things. I've always been more of a plug and play dude. I'm like, give me a good tone and I'll use that one.
Well, you got plenty to think about, right? You got the vocal part of it, you got the entertain the crowd part,
which is insane, because already now I'm 27 and I find myself in situations already at this age where I walk into a room and I'm like, why did I come here? But somehow I'm able to play and sing at the same time.
You haven't made it easy for yourself, have you?
I have not.
So what's coming up in the future? Anything cool we can look forward to?
Absolutely, dude. The new record is going to be coming out September 30th. It's called If the Sky Came Down. And that record, I can say with absolute honesty that has the best guitar work that myself or our other guitarists have ever done in our lives, and I'm super excited about bringing all of that on tour.
That's coming to the UK, right?
Yes, sir. We're going to be touring the UK with our good friends in Blind Channel in September. We're doing a full European run. We're coming for, I believe it was 5 or 6 shows to the UK, and that's going to be fantastic.
Oh, I can't wait. So, any kind of, beyond the throwing the guitar moment, any other scary moments guitar-wise that happened to you on stage before?
Well, for insurance purposes, I'm not going to get into it too much, but no, I mean, you know, it's all of those things because I love, you know, I love doing the whole guitar spin thing, obviously, you know. That comes very heavily from Alexei, who was a dear friend of mine, one of the biggest influences that I've ever had. And, you know, you'll have stuff go wrong with that. You know, a couple of times it knocks over your mic stand, a couple of times it doesn't come back. And luckily, only one time my strap locks have failed me.
Not locked.
But not anymore, luckily. But, I mean, the thing is, like, people give me a hard time very often for me breaking stuff very often, but I have not broken a single guitar, ever.
Ah, good man. So on the topic of not breaking guitars ever, is there any kind of guitars on the ESP site that you're like, oh, I want one of those?
Oh my God, don't even get me started, man. I have like I literally have a list of guitars that I need from ESP next. But one of the guitars from the 2022 models was the Eclipse guitar, which has it's like the creamy white kind of. It's like the Randy Rhoads color.
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, I need that one. There's also I believe it's the SN series. It's like the kind of purple-esque thing.
One like this, but in purple, right?
Oh my God, give me that right now. Give me that right now.
Here we go.
This is a gorgeous guitar.
On this one too?
That is the one I'm talking about. Give me that one too. Can I plug
Here we go. It's getting real. Of course you can.
I need that one. Let me put this one down because that is one of the most gorgeous guitars I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah.
And the wood and the paint job on this is just
Well,
absolutely
we interviewed Alex yesterday.
Yeah?
Alex Skolnick, and he's like, can I play this one instead of my signature? I'm like, yeah.
Oh my God, it feels absolutely incredible. I always go crazy when I get a guitar with a Floyd Rose because I haven't played one of these in a long time. But
sure.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the guitars that I need to get. Yeah. Definitely need this one. Maybe without the Floyd Rose, but I mean something like this definitely. And there's so many beautiful new Phoenix colors also. So honestly, ESP is just one of the. I was talking about it earlier today that one of my earliest memories is I got from my brother, I believe it was a 2006 ESP catalog. It was like a white hard-covered book, and you know it had your Alex's, your George Lynch's, your Kirk Hammett's and Hatfields, and I was like, you know what? One day I'm gonna be in this fucking book. Yeah. And the moment we got an offer from ESP that, hey, would you possibly like to work with us? We're like, yes. Yes, we do. And you know, the thing is with these guitars, you know, a lot of guitars obviously say that, but it's 100% true that with these guitars, I could play a show literally with this, taking it off the rack. Yeah. I don't need to do anything with this, and that is the beauty of ESP guitars. And you know, obviously the support that you have anywhere around the world, it's like, I don't need to bullshit anyone because I feel this, I literally feel all of this. So, you know, ESP it's great to be a part of the family.
They treat everybody so well, don't they? Like you said, you get a guitar sent over from Japan or wherever, straight out of the box is ready to go, isn't it?
One of my great memories was I played a few shows with this great band called The Local Band, which consisted of myself. I played bass in it. Alex Eliho played guitar, Olli from Reckless Love sang in it, and Jussi69 from the 69 Eyes played drums, and we just played Bon Jovi, Poison, Rat, stuff like that, just covers, and we went to Japan for 2 shows, and you know, I was like, well, I don't own any basses, so would it be possible to borrow just, you know, one bass or something? I got to the hotel in Tokyo, literally had 3 bass cases with the newest ESP Phoenix basses. I was like, what's happening here? And they were just like, yeah, here you go, and you know, tuned to perfection and set up for perfection. So you know, I have the utmost respect for everyone at ESP.
Amazing stuff. Well, Samy, so great to speak to you today. Great things ahead. Looking forward to the future. Great to spend some time with you.
Thank you so much for inviting me here, man. It's been great.
Cheers, dude.